Hey everybody, welcome back to Dunrovin Ranch in lovely Lola, Montana. I am your ranch manager, Kelly. It's chilly. There is not one cloud in this Montana big sky. It is gorgeous. There is a bit of a nip in the air. And this program is called Boots on the Ground, during which I show you something on the ranch that you normally can't see from the cameras or something that you're not familiar with. You may notice that I'm not dressed as I normally am. My adventures in warmth continues. I found this at the Goodwill yesterday. $4.99, which is unbelievably well priced. It is a snowmobile suit. It is quite old, I think. Plus the senior discount of 10%. And if you notice the patch on the back, pretty amazing. Butte, of course, is Suzanne's hometown, and I bet she loves this suit. I have a patch on the arm as well. I wore it out this morning to test its warmth. It's not bad. I had no thermals on underneath it, and I still stayed pretty warm. It was like 21 degrees. When I first walked out in this just now, G3 expressed his jealousy at my suit, and he's in luck because there was an extra large as well. And tomorrow is a day off for me, and I might just have to go grab the other one if it's still there, because really people are probably beating down the door to get the other one. So anyway, I thought you'd enjoy actually seeing it in color and in the daylight, so you're welcome. Today, as promised, I am going to show you waste management here at the ranch. Basically, in the trade, that's called mucking. And now that I think about it, this kind of is a waste management engineer outfit. So the mucking, it's important. Actually, it's really important for a lot of reasons. One, appearance. No one likes to walk around and have manure everywhere. I think if a place is nicely cleaned up, it shows that you care about your horses and the ranch in general. You want to make a good impression on people. And I don't think that people want to look on the cams and see manure everywhere, especially if the members who've been here a while are used to manure piling up, manure being cleaned. It just happens sometimes. But new members, I don't think they want to look at the camera and see manure everywhere. So I spent some time yesterday picking up as much of the frozen stuff as I can. So manure, besides appearance and aesthetics, there's a big hygiene issue. You know, granted, it's just chewed up hay, but there's a lot of bacteria in there, and you don't want the horses walking in it and getting that bacteria in their feet. It can cause thrush if left in there too long. There's also eggs in there, parasite eggs, worms, we just call them worms in general, in there. And horses can pick them up from each other if they're nibbling around on the ground near where manure has been. So for those reasons, we like to keep the manure picked up. Now, some people, I guess, don't like the smell of manure. I think it's amazing. It's an amazingly great smell. So I love mucking. I am very good at mucking, and not many people are even adequate at mucking. I am very judgmental about people and their mucking abilities. Katie Wardasani is excellent. I love Taylor dearly, but ... I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to just do some mucking for you. It really is a skill. So I'm going to go on in here, and I think you can see some of it. This is the muck cart that you're well familiar with. And I'm going to have a special guest out here. I'll call him out here in a few minutes. So you think there's actually a system to it. You know, some manure breaks up easily, in which case you're just leaving it on the ground. Some manure, like this stuff that Bonnie's walked in all night, gets ground into the dirt, and you can rake it up. Now the trick is to pick up the manure, but leave as much of the dirt and gravel, etc. behind. It's not that easy. I know I'm being somewhat funny here, but it really does matter. So this is it. It's actually very relaxing. I know that we've had some guests to the ranch who have helped and were wonderful. Something else you want to do is you want to pick it up, give it a little shake, and get rid of the dirt and gravel so you're not wasting that. What else can I tell you about it? When there are shavings, you know, remember Doc had straw and shavings. The straw was impossible. You had to get rid of that too. But shavings, you pick it up, you shake it out, and you dump it in the cart. There are, in the back of the stall here, Bonnie and Clyde's stall, they like to leave their manure in the same place that they urinate. So you have to rake through that and get the good stuff up. We like to get rid of the, sometimes we'll leave loose hay for a day or two, and if they're really not going to eat it, we will rake that up too. I like to rake between the stalls so it looks lovely and manicured and well cared for. Mucking is actually more than just picking up the manure. You have to know how many times horses do leave manure in a 24-hour period, which I think you all know is, I can hear them thinking right now, 10 times. An average horse will leave you 10 piles of manure a day. What I notice about, hey Crow, what I notice about the ponies is they leave as much. If you come into a stall and there's no manure, that's a really bad problem. That's an indication of likely impaction colic. If it's dry, that's a problem. If it's too wet, it's a problem. It's really not something to take that lightly. And you have to know you have to know your blank. And so without further ado, folks, I would very much like to bring a guest mucker in to help me today. James Wassam, you all know. James, thank you so much for joining me today.
I don't know who signed me up for this.
I signed you up for this. He had no idea this was coming.
I love it. I love it. Hi, everybody.
This is James. So, you know, I'm gone in January.
That's right. Yeah.
So you should know how. And you're not. So
right.
I will. What I tell people, James, is if it fits in the fork, it gets picked up.
Okay.
And that somehow people don't get that. There's also an unwritten rule of mucking, which every horse person knows. If you're going off after one piece, and it's just for some reason won't go in the fork, 3 tries. If you can't pick it up after the 3rd try, walk away. That is unspoken rule.
Walk away.
Walk away. So also something else that's interesting is in the back. This is interesting because this is what I do. Bonnie walks most of it right in. See this? Bonnie walks it into the ground.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that it? So,
Yeah,
so
like,
I just pick up the bigger stuff.
Ultra composted.
It's ultra composted, but you know what's interesting too is it makes the ground soft. For Bonnie and Clyde, it's really soft here. So okay, James, and Enu also helps muck. So James, if it fits in the fork, pick it up. We'll see how he does. Have you ever done this before?
I'm a little bit intimidated, to be honest, with that setup with regarding Taylor.
Oh, I really, really love Taylor, but God.
hilarious.
Have you mucked before?
It is very meditative. Well, you know, the last time I did any real serious mucking, besides, you know, the cat litter box, which this reminds me of, you know.
Oh, okay. But they eat meat. It's a whole different.
Was a goat pen.
Oh.
And the ammonia smell in a goat pen is worse than chickens. It's
is it really
as bad as anything you can imagine. So yeah, I had to take a hoe and a metal tine rake to that.
Oh boy, that's disgusting.
Yeah. But working in this environment is actually quite nice.
It's
and
peaceful, isn't it?
Like you said about the, you know, about the smell and everything else, horse manure is not nearly as caustic as anything else.
No,
in fact,
it's not.
It is almost pleasant once you get used to it.
So we're going to see how he does just in this first half.
So obviously what I'm doing is I'm digging the tines in a little too deep, and I'm going super slow. And we're seeing flat pieces here that, you know, have been stomped down or walked over. And then you get to the mud or some of these wet areas, and the rake does not move nearly as well.
No, so what would you do?
Well, that's a really good question. I'm just kind of skimming the top. You
Yeah.
don't want to pick up mud and throw it away necessarily.
It's a waste.
But
and it makes the cart heavy.
yeah. So I don't know. I would come back with like a metal tine rake and like spread it out, break it down or something, I guess. I don't know. That'd be my first guess.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Tell you what I would do.
What would you do?
I'll tell you what I would do. I would turn the rake upside down.
Upside down. Nice.
And I would kind of pick it out like that.
Okay.
You could do that.
Yeah. That's a good move.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then you've got that there. You could do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I would do. And you know, the only reason that I would honestly do a really good job on this here is because when it starts getting wet, this just becomes nothing but bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes, I call it bacteria soup.
Sure.
But you'll hope it's not lunchtime for anybody. So that's what I would do,
Now, in the wintertime, though, this is going to be freezing and thawing.
Right.
Like it's getting nice sun right now, so this is nice and thawed out, but shortly it'll be frozen again.
Yes, it'll be a sheet of ice.
Some timing that you need to pay attention to?
Not really. We do have manure getting stuck, iced in there is fine. It's the slipping that I would be concerned about. So we have a container of 50-50 salt and sand. And you sprinkle it up there before it gets too bad. Okay. And then they won't slip at all. And you can there's an area over here that's pretty dry.
Yeah.
And also what I've been doing is we got a lot of free sand from sandbags from all the flooding last year. And I had, scared you, Inu. A lot of sand. It's not really sand, it's like crushed stuff. But I've been putting it in the wetter spots in preparation for that. So
now with the salt, since you bring that up, is there any? I mean, they've got their salt blocks here, but would they be inclined to lick the salt on the dirt?
I guess they could.
I mean, that would be a problem with parasites and whatnot.
It would, and getting dirt and rocks into their intestines. I doubt they will.
Yeah.
It's
they should be smarter than that.
They should be smart. Well, you can see they've been getting a little bit the white one there, and Crow's eaten almost all of his.
Wow.
It's you know what it is? The salt we use is the salt for soft water, water conditioners. And it's funny because when I was 8, 9 years old, we had a water conditioner. We called them water conditioner in the garage, and we would eat the salt because but it doesn't taste like
it's not that palatable.
It's not
like
thank
table
you.
Salt.
It's not like table salt. So I don't know if they will or not. I doubt it. And no, but you know, if you're the only one out here and it's a beautiful day.
It is a good way to get some vitamin D if you're not in a onesie. And and
that's
also,
low. That's low. You know, the extra large will probably fit you too, James.
Oh no.
I'm pretty proud of this.
No, it is pretty stellar.
Come on.
I mean, that's got to be from easily the 70s.
I would hope so.
Maybe probably early 70s.
Isn't that fantastic? And it says Terry. And I could probably have it say Kelly.
So my first thought about this was that we could easily do like those Zen rock garden type of designs.
I've done that.
I was just picturing you doing that when you say how much you enjoy it.
I love this.
I know this is going to be an art installation at some point.
You know, I don't see why not. And you know who else was brilliant at it was the guide Katie we had for a short time, because she used to work at a very high-end venting barn, and they had to get up every piece of old hay. And it drove her insane, but she had really straight, perfect rows with the tines.
Wow.
Yeah, I would totally do that if I had the time.
So the efficiency person in me comes out and says, okay, this is all fine and good, but what if you're in a hurry? What if you just got to get it done?
Well, I'm fast.
Yeah? You can be fast and particular.
Oh, I can be fast in particular.
I can imagine this does take a little bit of practice. It's not something you would think should take practice, but
I mean, isn't that true?
there's some, I mean, you're using your large muscles in doing this, you know, a lot of lever action and things like that. It's not like a cat scoop where it's your wrist motion.
And you have to be careful, because you can actually, you know, get basically tennis elbow, and you can get,
My word.
I mean, you can get all, if you don't do it, what, ergonomically is the word I want, you can actually hurt yourself. Because there's also this, there's also the twisting.
Now, these are plastic. Do they make metal tines that might be a little more robust? Or is
Well, they
plastic
do,
preferred?
and I was going to show that, but since you're here, I was going to show you the muck forks. James and I, first of all, have too much fun doing it on camera together. I'm going to show you what we have here. So he's got what he's doing is your basic muck fork. Actually, stop for 1 second. Oh, is there any more? Do me a favor, would you, while I'm talking, would you dump some manure onto the ground that you just picked up? Just a little bit. Thank you.
More, but I'll
Thank you.
dump some more
Thank
out.
you.
Sure.
So that's your basic plastic. The brand is Durafork. They sell them everywhere, and you can buy the replacement. We have a lot of these metal ones, which are good for picking up manure if it's stuck in ice. However, it's a lot heavier, and I find
that's substantially heavier.
and I find it really awkward to muck with. If it's too icy to pick up manure, you know, I just don't pick it up. It's just weird. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, and the angle, it digs in a lot.
It's wrong.
too.
It's just wrong.
Oh yeah, that's.
It's
a good
just
point.
awful.
Yeah.
But some people enjoy that.
Okay.
I don't. And this is pretty much a ranch manager's worst nightmare. See, this one's missing a tine. And again, a great Facebook post. If you think the little things in life don't matter, wait till you come across this one morning. Give this a shot. Just go ahead and muck.
No! Oh man!
Right?
It won't
You can't
pick
even
it up
do
on
it.
the ground.
No, you can't even
push
do it.
In transition.
No, you can't even
you
do
can't
it.
Shake it out. It all
No,
comes
it's a
out.
nightmare, okay? And then if you really want to pretty much have to take your own life, try this one.
Oh, it doesn't even have an edge on it. Oh, this is a special kind of torture.
It is,
there.
but don't you feel it? You feel the pain.
Oh yeah, no, it's like
You can't even hold
give me a sharp stick.
Give me a sharp stick.
Oh man.
So,
Why are these still here?
because this one just happened.
Oh, okay.
And this one I have a replacement tine. I'm just having trouble getting it off for various reasons.
Oh, okay.
They do make different kinds. Now, Noble is a great company. They make a muck fork called a wave fork. It's got, who knew that there was, a better mousetrap here?
There's a lot of science here.
There's a lot of science here. It has slightly different shape, and it's made out of different material that bends a little more.
Okay.
And it's virtually unbreakable. If you do happen to break one, they'll send you a replacement. You can replace each individual tine. But I've never broken one, and I have closed mine into the bucket of a tractor on several occasions, and it pops right out.
Wow.
It's a dream. It's a little more. It's quite a bit more expensive, maybe twice as much, but never breaks. So so people go, oh, guess what? I broke the muck fork. It's a nightmare. Yeah. The other nightmare is if you've been mucking for hours and hours and you're exhausted, and you pick this up, and you've got it, and you're like, oh God, I'm almost done, and you hit the side of the cart and it spills on the ground. ask anyone who mucks. That's pretty much second to a busted fork.
Or it's really cold and the plastic just shatters. I don't know, at 20 below, how does the plastic hold up?
I never mucked at 20 below.
You will here in a little
Well,
bit.
not if it's frozen into the ground.
No, you'll be in like Arizona or
I'll be in
something like that.
Arizona. I'll be in Texas. So when I do this stall, I do the back, but it's pretty clean because I mucked last night. If I have the time and the energy, I muck at least twice a day because then it's easy each time. Something else we have to do, because it's not yet bolted to the side. Oh, there's manure back here, James. There's even some stuck in the mud. Is we pick this up. I'll have James do it. Would you please pick this up and roll it over here and put it against this? It's heavy.
It is pretty heavy.
All right, thank you. Something else we do is we check the water, make sure it's clean enough. And it's not frozen, and I make sure that the salt can be reached by whatever critter's in here. Enu's clearly thirsty.
Yeah.
She drinks a lot of water. James and Kate are watching Arrow and Enu in January, and there's some things you need to know about
Looking
her
forward to
water intake. Yeah, they're good dogs.
Yeah, she's been over here 2 or 3 times now in just the short time I've been out here drinking water.
Isn't this kind of interesting? It's kind of okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I see some more that I
Yeah,
missed
there's more
behind the bin. Now, one thing I'm thinking about as I'm doing this is
Yes, James.
is the dust. And with certain types of manure, you really do have to pay attention to the dust that kicks up. Like when I've taken care of chickens,
Yes.
you got to go in with a respirator almost.
Almost.
It's pretty serious.
It smells terrible.
Well, not to mention just anything that could be floating in the air, get in your respiratory system.
Yeah, well, it's like, if you're cleaning up mouse poop, you have to be careful because it's dangerous. It can be.
But not so with horse manure?
No, I don't believe so. I'm still here. Something else that I learned from experience is if you have a lot of manure to pick up, start with your empty cart the furthest distance away, because then it gets heavier as you move closer to where you have to dump it. Oh, Enu's peeing for you. That's nice. A couple times I would start in past years, past ranches, I would just start mucking as soon as I saw any, and then I realized, it's really heavy, and I still have to walk out half a mile. So you're doing a very good job, but I know that there was a lot of pressure.
Well, it is a little bit of pressure. Because I still am reeling from the setup, I heard. But I feel like I'm not making patterns like I really would like to if I were a professional. And I suppose that comes down to kind of that approach, kind of like with the muck cart and where you put it. Once you do this enough, that's where that efficiency comes into play, and that attention
speed.
to detail.
Speed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything because this is your first time, but I'd have been done with the whole ranch by now.
I'm really slow. Yeah. I mean, I'm even looking for stuff that doesn't even really exist here.
Well, but look what you're finding. See, you have the makings of a good waste management engineer because everyone thinks they're done. They think they're done. Well, I can come back in when someone's done, and I can practically fill a cart with what people have left behind.
I can tell you, yeah, there's a lot, lot that remains here.
Sure.
Now, whether or not that's actually scoopable can be debated.
Well, but look, you're finding some. Look at that.
Well, some of that's rocks and hay, but yeah, there were a couple tidbits in there.
You've got promise, so
Way to build me up.
Way to build you up.
We're obviously not in boot camp yet. You haven't started tearing me down.
No. Well, I have to say most people don't even have promise. So.
Well then.
So you're good.
I'm going to have to taper back here because otherwise I'll get a job.
Yeah, you know what? Be careful what you're good at, because you end up doing that.
I learned that some time ago. I kept getting assigned to all these things. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He's doing quite well. And in the next time, you could drag the rake lightly through the urine in the back and just get the old hay off the top.
See, I feel like a substantial amount of this is just dirt.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
all right.
there is some little bit of stuff in there, but
And then you can just kind of, yeah.
just spread it out.
Just with one big swipe, you can spread it out. There you go.
Like
oh, he's
that.
doing well.
So now this would be an area where I would need to kind of...
Just lightly. He's going over there's some old hay in the urine. Just really lightly. See that?
It does look a lot better.
It looks a lot better. And you can also, you know, again, really, you want to be sure they're going enough. You want to make sure it looks okay. I mean, I've found, I guess this is animals. I mean, I found way in the back, you wouldn't know it, but very wet diarrhea, and you want to make sure that that horse is okay. And it's good to walk around your stall. We probably need to start making instructional videos. Dunrovin Ranch.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Mucking 101.
See, now this is pretty wet and heavy.
Something else I learned is if you put the heaviest stuff in the front of the cart, it's easier to push and balance.
Ah, yeah.
If you put it in the back, you have to really heave it up. James is doing well. Well, I think that's probably all we need to show the folks. Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah. And also, you know, if it's wet like this and you're able to smooth it out, then when it freezes, it doesn't freeze, you know, like the Rocky Mountains that the horses have to cross there.
Right. A little bit of a head start.
Yeah, a little bit of a head start.
Now this is probably...
You can throw that all away pretty much.
This is probably more water and mud than anything, but
it's all right. Well done.
And, you know, then we can get...
There's a piece right there. See that?
yeah, watch me chase it. For,
Okay,
you know.
1, 2. Okay.
hey.
Oh. No, it's unwritten. Ask anybody.
And then if I go like this...
And I'm walking around. It's very nice. Some things that people don't do too, and they think I don't notice, is they don't check underneath the feeders where it hides. And they think they don't have to get it. Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, this is gorgeous.
See, this is my first thought when you came out here with this. I mean, I'd be doing this all day.
No, you wouldn't if you were an hourly employee.
That's
look! Oh, this is beautiful. Here, hold on.
It certainly won't show up on camera, but...
It's beautiful. He's got a certain sense of style, and I think that it would be, this is a lot like the Buddhists who make those sand mandalas, and then it blows away.
Right.
Because they, you know, Bonnie and Clyde will be in here later.
I know they'll appreciate it.
But it's not the destination, it's the journey.
That's right. All right, and I think I'm out of space, so there we go.
You did a good job.
All right. Well, there he is. Mucking 101.
Mucking 101. Well, I'm going to send you back to turn us off.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. And your uniform will be waiting for you Thursday.
Outstanding.
Thanks, everybody. He's funny. Basically, that's it. He did really well. And again, Taylor, I love you. That's all I'm going to say. Wardasani is stellar. And I'm going to finish quickly doing Crow. It's always a pleasure when the horses do it in one spot, so you don't have to walk around. We like to keep the ranch clean and tidy. It looks nice. I just think, you know, besides the hygiene aspect, I think it looks nice when the ranch looks picked up. Thank you for joining me today. There are no more boots on the ground for the winter. Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we will not be training Augie and Mystery. Fur and Feathers on Sunday will feature our very own Hey Paula. And I've met her cat, and his name is spectacular. Well, his name isn't spectacular, but his name is great. That will be Sunday. I'll have another boots on the ground. We'll clean tack. If it's a nice day, I'll clean it out in the sun. Otherwise, I'll be over there inside where there's a heater. I don't know. And then Thursday, a week from Thursday, we are actually going to put Augie back in the trailer with Lonza, and we're going to haul him, have his first little drive. And the plan as it stands now is Suzanne will be in the back of the trailer with a camera. And I think the most enlightening part of that will be how loud it is. It's amazing horses even get in, you know, after their first ride, but they do. They're awesome. I'm going to sign off for today. I'm going to finish some mucking. I was going to put Crow in the trailer and take him for a little ride, which I might do. I have to say though, having a couple little back spasm issues, so it might not be a good time to get involved in something if it's going to take a lot of movement on my part. But I'll certainly get him out and groom him, maybe take him for a walk. And other than that, I appreciate you joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. We actually had quite a bit of fun. James Wassam and I shouldn't do a lot of broadcasts together because they tend to get silly. But hope you've learned a little bit about how we keep the ranch clean. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.